I think it's red, you think it's blue. I think it's purple, you think it's yellow. I think it's hot, you think it's cold. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you look with your spiritual eyes, if you look at the bigger picture, if you look with a higher vision. That's what we do in New Humanity. We go past polarities, past right, wrong, you, them, and we're actually living in that realm of oneness. Some of us call it second tier, if you do spiral dynamics. Some of us call it fifth dimensional consciousness. Some of us call it the kingdom of heaven and the realm of oneness. It's here. It's here right now, but you have to let go of separation in order to surrender into oneness. A woman was waiting at the airport one night with several long hours before her flight. She hunted for a book in the airport shops, bought a bag of cookies, and found a place to drop. She was engrossed in her book, but happened to see that the man sitting beside her, as bold as could be, grabbed a cookie or two from the bag in between, which he tried to ignore to avoid a scene. So she munched the cookies and watched the clock as the gutsy cookie thief diminished her stock. She was getting more irritated as the minutes ticked by, thinking if I weren't so nice, I would blacken his eye. With each cookie he took one too. With only one left, she wondered what he would do. With a smile on his face and a nervous laugh, he took the last cookie and broke it in half. He offered her half. As he ate the other, she snatched it from him and thought, oh, brother, this guy has some nerve and he's also rude. Why, he didn't even show any gratitude. She had never known when she had been so galled and sighed relief when her flight was called. She gathered her belongings and hurried to the gate, refusing to look at the thieving ingrate. She boarded the plane and sank in her seat. Then she sought her book, which was nearly complete. As she reached in her bag, she gasped with surprise. There was her bag of her cookies in front of her eyes. If mine are here, she moaned with despair, the others were his. And he tried to share. Too late to apologize, she realized with grief that she was the rude one, the ingrate, the thief. When being right slips into a self-righteousness, we can get ourselves into trouble. Sometimes, think about it for yourself. Don't raise your hands. Don't raise your hands. Have you noticed any time this week or this morning that you knew you were right, which means somebody else was wrong? My husband raised his hand. We had this conversation, and he said, am I going to like your talk today? I said, no. Oh, well, it happens. In today's world, we have gotten so polarized. Like there are times when we know we're right, when we really know we're right, but we don't have to make other people wrong. But it's when we slip into this idea of self-righteousness that things go a little sideways. That's a nice term for, you can put your own term on sideways, right? So why is it that we think we're right? And why does it matter? And my intention for today is to just bring an awareness. My ultimate intention, which I wasn't going to tell you, but I hope that it happens, is my favorite line is, wait, what? So I hope you get there today. So just planting that seed, just so you can be fully participating. But when we think about being right, you remember the old phrase, would you rather be right or you rather be happy? Of course we want to be what, right? I mean, seriously. But when we think about righteous is biblical. Righteous is from Proverbs. Whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. So righteousness is a good thing. Righteousness, according to Charles Fillmore in The Revealing Word, is being attuned to God's attributes. So love and light and joy and compassion and empathy, all those biblical words. And righteousness, according to the dictionary, is a state of harmony established in consciousness through the right use of those God-given attributes, which leads directly to eternal life. It's a quality of being morally right or justifiable. However, that slippery slope that some of us can get on into self-righteousness is characterized by a certainty, especially an unfounded one that is totally correct or feeling like we're totally correct or morally superior. Again, please don't raise your hands. But think about those places, right? We can talk about, the world at large, right? We're in an election season, so we can talk about anything about that. Of course, we can't from the pulpit, so that's the good news. But it's about the polarities, right? It's about knowing that we know we're right. But the thing is, everybody knows they're right. So when we think we're right, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with that. Where we get caught up is when we are blaming or accusing somebody else of being wrong, and we know it from this place of moral superiority. Try it on with me. I know I'm right. You are so wrong about that. Why would you do that? Why would you think that? How could you believe that? So why does this happen to us? Well, besides the fact that we're in a world that's completely polarized about every topic you can even imagine, but it's the feeling, it's the paradox of the feeling. When we are in God-given righteous, we are in love and expanded. When we are in our moral, superior, self-righteous place, we are looking down on the other. We're looking down on anybody or anything. And when we look down, we create a sense of separation as opposed to connection. So my challenge to you today is to find that connected place. Find that sense of connection. Find that place where we know there is no other. When we know we're right, we begin to see other. We begin to see anybody else that doesn't agree with us as other, which fundamentally says that we're objectifying them. And once we've objectified anybody else, we've put them in a box, and they become an object that either is an obstacle to getting what we want, a vehicle to getting what we want, or irrelevant to getting what we want. What's the key phrase here? Getting what we want. What if instead of knowing we were right, we considered the possibility, I'm going to cue you. You're ready for your cue here in a minute. We're going to consider the possibility that we are never right. Wait, what? So what if we were to consider the possibility that we were never right? Good job. I knew I liked you guys. When we see other as other, which happens when we think we're right, which means we make them wrong, we basically dehumanize them. We make them the bad guys. We make them. We turn them into an object. When we become self-righteous in knowing we are right, we end up denying another person's perspective and dehumanizing them. And when we dehumanize human beings, we see more separation. But in Unity Church of the Hills, we know that there is how many presences that we call God? One. There's one presence and one power. We call that God. That each and every person who's sitting on this side of the sanctuary is divine, and everybody else isn't. Is that what we teach? No. Oh, it's this side. Oh, no, it's the front. Oh, no, it's the back. Oh, no, it's the church across the street. Oh, no. Maybe it's every person is divine, that every single person on the planet is an individualized expression of that same source that sourced us. And it is in our individuality that we create the mosaic of life on the planet. Now, you cannot have a mosaic with only half the glass pieces. I mean, you could, but it's not that beautiful. It takes every shape and every color and every angle and every opinion, actually. Wait, what? Every perspective in order to create the whole. And the only reason that we are where we are is because we started making human beings other and wrong. So, like Bob Newhart says, stop it. 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 But what do you do instead? Well, you know, the truth is we do get stuck in being right. So I am at Unity Church of the Hills, and you do know me for something. Do you remember what you know me for? Bad jokes. So here's a few one-liners. I'm not saying I'm always right, but I'm definitely not wrong when I'm saying I'm usually right. I'm not stubborn. I'm just confident that my way is always the right way. I don't always insist that I'm right, but when I do, it's because I am. I know we're hitting a little close to home, aren't we? I don't always have to be right, but it does make me feel more superior than everybody else. I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong enough to admit it in public. Last one. I'm not always right, but I'm always ready to argue my point until the other person gives in. We know people on both sides of that one, right? That is not worth arguing for, because I'd rather be happy. Well, no, I like to be right. I still like to be right. But what if we were considered, really, that we don't know anything, that we're never right, that the ultimate, fundamental, universal truths are simple, and us being right does not necessarily become a universal truth? Our universal truths, they show up in our principles. God is, I am, we are. What we think, what we vibrate, what we resonate, becomes that which we see more of. And what do we want more of? We want more love. We want more connection. We want more compassion. We want more sufficiency and equality. We want more justice. We want more oneness. But if we're willing and interested and committed to oneness, then we have got to stop separating. We like to separate. Why do we separate? It's brain chemistry. Our brains were initially created and built for survival. When we are threatened, as in the bears coming after us, we go into the reptilian brain, the survival brain. But that reptilian brain and survival brain is about knowing that we're right to keep ourselves safe. Now, for most of us, when we're navigating the world out there this week, we will not have a bear at our doorstep. Some of us might. But most of us are fundamentally safe in a way that our ancestors were not. Our survival needs are met. And then, when we know that, we can interrupt the survival mode that makes the other wrong and not safe in order to choose. In order to choose. And that's what it comes down to. Choose. 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 Connection over separation. Choose love over hate or fear. Choose compassion over judgment. Choose to be aligned with that which we call God. Choose. Just simply choose. The world gives us lots and lots of opportunities to choose. And what if that's the world? What if the world is as we see it because we're being given the opportunities to choose? The opportunities to choose are a spiritual truth. What if that's it? What if it's a practice? It may be. There may be things going on where we could choose different. But what if we chose right here, again and again? Just consciously choose instead of automatic react. We're so good at reacting, but that's just automatic. So choose. I'm going to challenge you to decide and to make a commitment to choosing connection. I can feel you go, no, wait. Oh, connection, yeah, but that's only because I'm right. Right? I can feel it. It's already in your brain. But notice every time you think you're right and make somebody wrong, because if you think you're right, you're automatically making somebody wrong. You're disconnecting from them. You're separating. And what the world needs now is love. What the world needs now is... there we go. Thank you. Thank you for letting me put you on the spot, too. I know that was such a stretch for him, wasn't it? So how are we going to do it? We're going to do it by activating curiosity. Become curious. Become curious. You don't have to agree on anything. If you become curious, you might learn something. This year, Rob and I had the opportunity to travel. We were in Europe for a month, and we were in 4 different countries, and I started using this phrase that then we brought home. I said, wow, we're in a foreign country. We'd have no idea what their culture is, or their food, or their language. We have no idea what their mindset is. We don't know. We're in a foreign country. And then we came home, and we went, wow, we're in a foreign country. We do not understand the mindset here, or the culture here, or the food here, wherever we might be. But I started using it because it really worked. You know, if I don't understand somebody or I see something that I don't understand, I become curious. I go, wow, I'm really in a foreign culture here. I don't understand that mindset. What can you tell me? What can you show me? How can I choose connection over separation? There's several bodies of work. One of them is called Letters of Peace, and it's been around for a long time, but it's teachers that are connecting mostly high school kids, but some elementary, with the warring countries. So like Israel and Palestine, for example, or name your country. It's been around for a long time. But the idea is to get these kids writing letters to kids of the other country. And what happens when they do that is they will never go to war with each other because they know them. They're sharing their personal lives, their daily lives, their thoughts, their hopes, their dreams for the future. They're sharing this, and they're finding what? That they're the same. People are fundamentally the same. We all want safety. We all want to belong. We all want sufficiency. We all want our grandkids to grow up in a world that works. We all want that. What if we could start focusing more on that and less on other, less on them, less on objectifying, putting people in a box? So we're going to activate curiosity. We're going to activate a bigger picture. I think it's red, you think it's blue. I think it's purple, you think it's yellow. I think it's hot, you think it's cold. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you look with your spiritual eyes, if you look at the bigger picture, if you look with a higher vision. That's what we do in New Humanity. We go past polarities, past right, wrong, you, them, and we're actually living in that realm of oneness. Some of us call it second tier. If you do spiral dynamics, some of us call it fifth dimensional consciousness. Some of us call it the kingdom of heaven and the realm of oneness. It's here. It's here right now, but you have to let go of separation in order to surrender into oneness. Activate curiosity. Activate a childlike energy of innocence. Become more curious. What else? What else? Share a smile with your face, but with your eyes, with your heart. Share a connection. You don't have to have a big, deep conversation. Be present to the people on the planet. Most people are struggling with something. You know, there's all the Facebook memes and things that said, you know, if you knew somebody else's challenges, you would have a lot more compassion for them. You don't have to make up a story about what they're doing. Just choose. Choose curiosity, choose compassion, choose empathy, choose soul connection. If we were to choose to practice connection over separation every time, that to me seems like an easier choice than right, wrong, because, you know, we still like to be right. But even if I'm right, what if I can be connected? What if I can connect with your heart or your eyes or your children? It doesn't even matter what, because when we come into connection, we open our hearts for spirit. And is that not what we're here to do on the planet? To consciously co-create a world that works for all people. That means all people. That means the people you don't even like. It means all people. So I challenge you to make a personal decision and commitment to choosing connection. I consciously choose connection. I consciously choose love, connection, and kindness. Let's say it together. We're going to start with I consciously choose. I didn't put it on the slide. I consciously choose love, connection, and kindness. Now let your heart believe that. Like drop into your heart and just feel your heart. Just like turn your dimmer switch up. Just, oh, there is that love. Oh, there's a deeper connection. You don't even have to say a word. And out of that comes kindness that will turn the world around. One person to one person, one group to one group, one country to one country, one world to one world. We are here to make manifest the glory of God. And one way to do that is to consciously choose love, connection, and kindness. Will you do it? Yes. Let's say it together one more time like we believe it. I consciously choose to love, connection, and kindness. And so it is. And so we let it be. God bless you. Oh, thank you.
Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I circulate, and I am grateful.